Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into the core wisdom of Eckhart Tolle's modern classic, The Power of Now. You know, it's one of those books that really gets to the root of our suffering and, more importantly, offers a direct path to a life of peace. So, yeah, let's get right into it. So, the whole journey of this book, it actually starts with the author's own really profound crisis. He's 29 years old, he's been battling depression for a long time, and then this one thought just starts echoing in his mind, over and over again, pushing him right to the edge. But then, something completely unexpected happens. A moment of just stunning clarity. This really simple, kind of peculiar question just pops into his head, and it stops his mind cold. And believe it or not, this one question is what sparked a revelation that gets right to the very root of human suffering, a problem we're about to unpack right now. All right, Section 1, the tyranny of the mind. So here's the first major insight from the book, and it's a big one. Our suffering, it doesn't actually come from our circumstances, from what's happening to us. No, it comes from the tyranny of our own minds. Tolle says we've basically become servants to an instrument, our mind, that was meant to serve us. And to explain this, he introduces this really crucial distinction. Okay, so there's the compulsive thinker, that nonstop voice in your head, chattering away. And then behind that, there's the silent watcher. That's your true self. That's the consciousness that just hears the voice. And here's the whole point. You are not that voice. You are the one who hears it. That's the first step. So what is this thinker, really? Well, Tolle calls it the ego. And it's basically a false mind-made self that we create by unconsciously identifying with every thought that pops into our heads. It's like this phantom identity that's totally obsessed with the past and the future. It's constantly replaying old stories or worrying about what's next, which means it keeps us trapped everywhere but the one place that's real, right now. Tolle has this amazing parable to really drive this point home. He says we're like this beggar who's been sitting on a box for decades, begging for scraps. And we spend our whole lives looking for little bits of happiness and validation out there in the world, all while we're literally sitting on a box packed with gold, a treasure of inner peace we never even thought to look inside for. And if you think that's intense, it actually gets even deeper. This unobserved mind, it creates something Tolle calls the pain body. Think of it as this accumulation of all the emotional pain from your past that you never fully dealt with. It's like this dormant energy field that lives inside you. Most of the time it's quiet, but then it wakes up and it's hungry. It's actively looking to feed on any new negativity it can find or create. Okay, Section 2, the illusion of time. So you might be wondering, what is it that fuels this whole dysfunctional cycle, this crazy mind and its hungry pain body? Well, Tolle points to one primary culprit, our deep unconscious obsession with what he calls psychological time. And the main point here is pretty stark. He says that almost all negativity, all of it, is caused by this buildup of psychological time and a total denial of the present. Think about it. All our anxiety, our guilt, our stress, it all comes from being mentally lost in the past or the future and completely ignoring the only place life is actually happening. The ego is really clever in how it operates on this timeline. It clings to the past to give you an identity. It defines you by all your old stories, your regrets, your grievances. Then it uses the future to dangle this promise of salvation. I'll be happy when. A promise that, let's be honest, never really arrives. And the present moment, the only place that's actually real, the ego just sees that as an annoying obstacle to get through on its way to the future. And get this, Tolle actually estimates that a staggering 80 to 90% of most people's thinking is not only repetitive and completely useless, but because it's so often negative, it's actually harmful. It causes this serious, constant leakage of our vital energy. So we come to Section 3, the key, the power of now. And it's pretty straightforward, right? If the problem is our mind being trapped in time, then the solution has to be a radical shift in our consciousness, a shift to the one and only place where true power, peace, and life can ever be found. And the great news is, accessing the now isn't some super complicated spiritual exercise. It's actually done through really simple, direct practices. Things you can do right now, like just watching your thoughts without judging them or getting swept away. Or giving your full, complete attention to something totally routine, like washing your hands, feeling the water, the soap. Or just directing your attention to the feeling of life, the energy inside your own body. Tolle uses this brilliant analogy from nature to show us how to let go. He talks about two ducks. After they have a fight, they don't sit there stewing about it. Nope, they separate, they flap their wings like crazy for a few seconds, vigorously, and that releases all that pent-up energy from the fight. And then they just swim on peacefully. They show us exactly how to deal with negativity, because unlike us, they don't have a mind that loves to keep the past alive by telling stories about it. All right, section 4. Let's really zero in now on one of Tolle's most powerful and direct practices for staying present. Think of it as your permanent anchor, something that's always available to you no matter what. So the idea here is that your physical body, it isn't just a shell, it's actually a portal. By feeling that subtle aliveness inside you, what Tolle calls the inner body, you connect directly with your deeper essence, with your being. And that feeling is what anchors you like nothing else can, right here in the now. You know what? Let's just try it for a second, right now. Can you just direct your attention inward, maybe into your hands? Can you feel that subtle tingling, that aliveness, that energy field that's there? It's in your feet, it's in your whole body. That feeling of aliveness, that is your direct connection to life itself. And it's always there. And the benefits of practicing this simple awareness, well, they're pretty profound. Tolle says it does way more than just anchor you in the now. He claims it actually strengthens your immune system, it can slow down the aging process, and it just dissolves negativity on contact. It literally transforms your health and your relationships, all from the inside out. So that brings us to our final section, peace beyond good and bad. What is the ultimate payoff for all of this? For making this huge shift from being lost in your mind and in time to being present in your body and in the now? Well, it's not about finding what we typically call happiness. It's something much deeper. What it is what Tolle calls true salvation. And he doesn't mean it in a religious sense. He means a state of complete freedom. Freedom from that psychological need for a past to give you an identity, and freedom from the need for a future to give you fulfillment. It is a total liberation that is only and can only ever be available right here, right now. See, this isn't that fleeting kind of happiness that depends on everything going your way, right? Because that kind of happiness, it always has an opposite, sadness. When things go bad, the happiness disappears. No, we're talking about a deep, abiding inner peace that comes from within you. And here's the kicker, it has no opposite. It's totally unshakable because it doesn't depend on a single thing outside of you. And all of this leads to the ultimate realization. When you die before you die, when you let go of that false mind-made self, the ego, you discover the eternal, formless part of you, the part that was never born and can never die. So really, the final question isn't how do I find peace? The real question is, are you willing to let go of the you that's blocking it?